Hold on to your butts. Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Xaereth Prevails. Today, we've got a special video. We're doing a GAC recap, but it's against one of the top players in this game. His name is Fatal. He's also a streamer. I'm going to leave all the links to his YouTube channel and his Twitch channel in the video description, so go check those out. Really good player, really good dude. He's on the Gambit Alliance, so you can hear him in a lot of our roundtables if you listen to my Galaxy of Heroes podcast, also found in the link, or in the description, linked in the description, something about the description. So let's talk about it. First, let's talk about how my patrons are awesome. Thank you guys so much for all of your support. I truly do appreciate everything you do. You guys are awesome. And guys, if you want to support the channel for free, all you gotta do is hit that thumbs up button, subscribe, comment. Let's mount the algorithm, guys. This is a really interesting match, and I hope it's something to your liking. So first, let's talk about the stats. And it looks like he has more relics than me. I have more GP than him by just a little bit, but he has way more relics. You can see, look at that relic 9 stat there, guys. And relic 8. He's beating me by a country mile, which is apparently longer than a regular mile. So congratulations to him on the country mileage. And yeah, otherwise, you know, we're beating him on the non-important relics, so yay. Modding, he does beat me on the important stuff. Interestingly, I have more 6 dots than him, and I don't know what the explanation for that is, but I somehow have more than him. Maybe I don't know, sometimes he just like decides not to do some of the busy work in this game, which, you know, he gets bored with or whatever, and this is just pure speculation. Maybe he just doesn't do the Jabba missions as much. I have no idea, but he does have better mods than me anyways, despite all of that. Look at those 6% offense mods. He's got 41 of them compared to my 15. Just very, very impressive, to be honest. And then Datacrons, we have about the same level of investment on Datacrons. Typically he's going to have more than me, but I think he got a little late start on this current conquest, so, you know, good and bad, I suppose. Now here's the defenses that I placed. Now the thing about the thing about me and Fatal, we both like to place really tough defenses, and that's kind of exciting to be facing each other, because you don't get to see matches that often that are going to be defense first. I placed 4 Galactic Legends and then a bunch of other tough teams. You guys can see here, you know, Bo-Katan with her Cron is really strong right now. The Inquisition team in the back is really good, and then, you know, a few other teams that are like, well, like if Trench is my worst team on defense with his new Trench Cron, it's a pretty strong defense in my opinion. And then his defenses, he placed 5 Galactic Legends instead of just 4, and then a bunch of other really tough teams. He's got really good mods, and I mean, one of the things that you have to realize about him too is a lot of his approach to this game is making overwhelming mod setups for specific teams to make it so that the normal counters just don't work. So we'll just have to see how this all goes. Now, the awesome thing about this fight, folks, is that he attacked at the same time as me on his channel. So we're going to be flip-flopping back and forth between my channel and his, and you should be able to tell what the difference is, but you can kind of see it's kind of a race to the end while we're both streaming. It's a really fun format, to be honest. Yeah, he's a really good player, guys. He's typically in the top 10, top 8, whatever group. A lot of times, if he wants to be, this match is in the top 100 somewhere. It's a good match. So let's get to it, folks, shall we? Let's do it to it. All right, you guys get to see my face double sometimes. So this is on Fatal Stream. We rolled off, and he ended up, or we flipped a coin, whatever, and he he lost, so I had him go first. Which, you know, that gives me a slight advantage, of course, to see how he's doing. And here, let me show you guys what his face looks like real quick. That's Fatal. Hello, Fatal. You won't see it again except for just a moving mustache, I guess. But yeah, so he decided to go in against my turret team first. And don't worry, the top window will resize in the middle of this fight, I believe, so that you can see the full team that's fighting. So this is all during my live stream. Yeah, look at that. I already resized it. So he's attacking, using his Qui-Gon team to try taking out my Chaze team. And so now, you know, Saw starts off by increasing everyone's cooldowns by 1. So Anakin's first hit just has to be on a basic. And he thinks for a little bit, trying to decide, is he going to switch stances? Or I guess he already did switch stances. I do chop up a lot of these videos like this. I want to make this video as short as possible. I mean, you know, within reason. So I am taking some things out. I'm speeding some of the combats up, but yeah. Well, the Churd and Base team, we got the win. Hooray! That's exciting for me. And in return, I decide to attack his Leia team, which he puts K2SO on so that he has R2D2 available for his Jedi Training Race squad. You know, and I don't think the performance really falls off that much from using K2SO instead of R2D2. I think it's a pretty cool use of it. I mean, he has them super relicked, so you know, that's just how it works. And yeah, so Bane has his new Cron, and I decided, you know, we should just try to take out Leia here if possible. That would be a good use for Bane. Bane is really strong these days, guys. Now, it takes a little bit to take her out because she keeps giving herself the buff, the second wind and the third wind and the fourth wind. You'd think that as long as she doesn't break wind, I suppose we'll be okay. Can't believe I've made a breaking wind joke. Holy balls. But yeah, it just takes a while. So she's stealing his mastery even as he's siphoning and getting stronger. And every time with his Cron, I forget if he had the one that, like right now I've rolled it so that when someone dies on his team, then he gets faster and stronger. I'm not actually sure if he had that level 3 right yet, but anyways, we got 65. Happy times. Good deal. Now we're back to his stream. He decided to attack my Lord Vader squad, and you can see those little numbers on each of the squads. Those are like the hot button keys for BlueStacks, which is an emulator. We both use that emulator. That way he can just use the keyboard to do his attacks, and it's, you know, the key binding is a lot faster. He gets a lot better results from it. But you can see I have Doubt Cron on my Lord Vader squad with, I think it's Piett and Thrawn. So yeah, they ended up taking him out, which is, I mean, I guess a happy thing for me. And then because he had failed a couple right off the bat, he decided to go for, you know, we let him go for another one on Rey. And I guess one thing I should say, guys, is this is very much Fatal style. Is he starts off with teams that, you know, like he tries to do off meta stuff like I do, and then if that works for him, if that continues to work, you know, then he has a lot less stress toward the end, and at the, you know, he wins with really low scores. A lot of times he doesn't clear, but you know, or his opponents don't clear, and he gets a really low score, but because he full clears, he ends up winning. And so this is a really interesting take on Starkiller, which I think he's had a lot of success with. He's got Vader and Starkiller and Mace here. You know, Mace has always been really good with Starkiller, but the idea, I mean, we're not getting rid of any of our dots. And maybe Rey gets rid of some of hers. Every once in a while she can do that. But yeah, he's taking a lot of turns. And I do have the Datacron that lets Rey revive herself, which is pretty strong in 3s. But yeah, you can see he's got a Doubt Cron. and where he's also timed it really nicely so that every time I have a whirlwind, he does a special on Starkiller, making it so that Mace has damage immunity. So my whirlwinds are just doing almost no damage at all to him. Now he's got to decide, like, when is he gonna get, he had his Star Destroyer of healing really early on, and he's saving it so that I don't end up just you know, killing him. Like, he wants to get closer to death, I guess, and then heal himself up. So the question is, do you need to heal now? Can he survive an ultimate from Rey? So he did decide to heal, and yeah, I mean, I think that was wise. Rey is modded for offense, my Rey is, and okay, so Cal is gone. The whirlwind isn't hurting Mace, but it's starting to hurt Vader and Starkiller. And it's, I don't know, it's starting to go a little bit rough. If I can get one more, if my Rey can get one more ultimate, then things will go well for me, I guess. He keeps trying to control Ben, which is really wise, like trying to give him ability block, trying to give him, because that big hit from Ben is just really damaging. And luckily for me in this instance, you know, my Rey team was able to pull it off, though we did lose Cal. Okay, so this is my attack. He's got Lord Vader with a couple Sith, which I thought was very interesting. I'm still not sure what the rationale behind it was, because he doesn't give any boosts to Sith at all, really. He helps Empire and Dark Side unaligned Force users, neither of which are these characters. And so I started off by doing a mind trick on Marauder because I didn't want him to reduce my max, was it protection there, and then maybe it was max health, I always forget which one, but he can do that to Galactic Legends by like 15 or 20%. It's fairly impressive. So we've got Hoda here just because he can heal my guys a little bit, as we're calling him to assist, which is important because we're going to be taking just slow erosion, kind of just, you know, over time. We just take damage from damage over time effects, and killing those sides early was fairly important. We really don't want Lord Vader to get his ult, which it doesn't look like he's that close to, but all he's got to do is do his big hit one more time, and then also every time we do damage to him while he's debuffed, he also gets his ult and you know, ult meter, and so you can see he healed himself. He's like really close to ulting. Luckily we managed to kill him, otherwise I don't know if we would have been able to manage it. But another happy landing there. Back to Fatal attacking me. So we decided to use, so he's kind of one of the guys who's popularized the Maul with ISC and GAR team, and this is a really interesting one because every time his leader goes, then it'll revive Ben if he's dead. And so if you take Ben here, or if you take Mace, I can't even talk, guys. If you take Maul here, then if he's doing his, you know, barrage of attacks, then it doesn't matter how many times you kill Ben, he'll just come back immediately afterward. Unless, so he didn't have a Datacron that allowed for no revives, which is, you know, kind of unfortunate for him in that sense. Or maybe he did have one, I don't actually know, but he didn't take one in this particular instance. And so he's trying to figure out exactly what he wants to do here. You know, both GAR and ISC are in damage immunity, and you know, Ben just doesn't die. He doesn't want to die. He refuses to every time Maul gets a turn. So you know, Fatal's trying to just figure out exactly what he wants to do. And then I think what he ends up deciding on is he can kill Ben and then time out, and then hopefully just kill Rey really easily. Like, just leave her on 1 hit point and then kill her easily with a different squad. So if he does his AoE right now and kills him, then someone else should take a turn before him. And eventually, okay, here, I just started. I was like, what time is it? Yeah, okay, so he did end up timing out, and then it was my turn. So I decided we're doing a new split, folks, which you'll see the other half of pretty soon, but this is the split that I'm using to kill Inquisition. It's Malgus, Malak, and Marauder, so the three Ma's. I'm funny. But, you know, the two Mals, the three Ma, I don't know. It's not a... He tried to have his Sephiroth moment, and it didn't work. Didn't kill her, but... Yeah, 90 seconds later, we've killed her a couple times. I do a couple of these jump cuts here, guys, just because the volume of attacks it takes to kind of show exactly what... how this all went about is something. So, okay, I used Malak to kill... or Malgus to kill his Inquisition. He doesn't know I have Inquisition in the back, and I don't know, you'll actually see his solution to Inquisition eventually, as foreshadowing, folks. So he's using his Malgus with Darth Revan in this case to take out my Imperial Remnant team. Now you'll note that I don't have what's his name, Moff Gideon here. Moff Gideon would be a better choice in terms of pure defensive prowess. However, I like to have Moff Gideon available to do Gidme, which is a really nice team to have against a lot of different current compositions, but it does make this team weaker. I don't think it would have made much of a difference against this composition, to be honest, guys. You know, my Death Trooper is Relic 8. He's okay modded, but I mean, Fatal's a good player. He knows what he's doing, and he managed it pretty well. So there it goes. Now I decided here I needed to kill his Jabba, and I needed to keep... I have 4 Galactic Legends available, but none of them are a sure thing against Jabba, except for my Kenobi, which Kenobi was going to be needed to kill his own Kenobi. So what I decided to do was... this is a non-optimized build for Night Sisters. If you want to beat Jabba, you can beat Jabba with Night Sisters in 3v3, and you'll actually see a much more credible attempt at that in the future. I wonder who would attempt such a thing. But if you want to only kill the ads, so you can get an almost guaranteed killing of Boushh and Chrysanthemum, as long as you have enough potency on Marin, which I do. You can get... it's almost guaranteed that you're able to kill Boushh and Chrysanthemum, and just leave Jabba if you take the zombie comp. So that's what I did, and this was a planned 2-shot. So to clean up Jabba, I just went real quick. We're using Maul with Gar and ISC. And honestly, this isn't something I would probably do against most opponents, like doing the planned multi-shot on the front zone, because it's such an efficiency meta. I can't imagine facing many players that are going to end up having, you know, that much on defense. But in this case, I knew it was going to have something crazy in the back. I needed to preserve Galactic Legends. Okay, so he's trying to kill my Rey, and yeah, we're doing jump cuts. I just 15 seconds later decided. So what he's doing here, what he's attempting is he's using Watt with Paz under bow lead, so that Paz will get an immediate first turn with the weapons tech. Because remember, my Rey is going to, because of her Datacron, she's going to revive the second she gets hit, or the second she dies, unless there's something that prevents that. So if you give the weapons tech to Paz, then, and he's able to just snipe her out, because she started with only 1 hit point, well, and then she regrew some, she regenerates them, that's how it works. But it didn't work out, but it was a clever idea to be able to, you know, maybe just get a quick snipe in on her. Didn't quite work. So now he's using his Jedi Master Luke squad with Basti instead of, who did I take? I took Hoda instead. Just a difference of preference. I don't trust Basti, man. Probably because I have her modded indifferently or something. But one way or another, he's trying to take out my Lord Vader, which, I mean, without Maul, if Maul's in the comp in 3v3, it can get pretty dicey because you can't really stop Maul from getting his opening barrage, which means Lord Vader probably gets his ultimate, and once he gets his ultimate, then it turns into a big mess. I should point out that when I killed his Lord Vader, he had a Datacron that had 80 deflection on it, which means it dodges all special attacks at an 80% clip, which is another reason I brought Hoda, because Hoda gives 50% accuracy to Jedi. And Jedi Master Luke really likes to get his ability block off if possible. Okay, so he killed my Lord Vader squad. Maybe not quite as cleanly as I killed his, which is surprising, but then here's the Kenobi mirror match, guys. This is a mistake I've seen a lot of times throughout the years, where people just decide to trade Kenobis. Now here, let me just actually pause this. I'm gonna rewind it for just 1 second, guys. Okay, so a couple things here before we get into it. First off, you can see I'm using Elf Jedi as my tank, because I don't need her for anything other than, like, it's fine if she dies. And in 3s, there's not really a way to prevent it. If you want to go the Kenobi mirror match, then as long as they have a tank to start with, then, you know, a Galactic Republic tank, then you're going to lose your tank. You're going to trade one character, and so they're going to kill my Jedi Knight Guardian. I may as well take her, or I could take, you know, I could even take Clone Wars Chewie if he's, you know, he is relict on this account, but, you know, like, Elf Jedi doesn't do anything for me otherwise, and it's conceivable, however unlikely, that I was going to take General Kenobi in a different comp, so why not just get rid of Elf Jedi and allow General Kenobi to have the possibility of being used later, since this is going to be a slugfest anyways. So anyways, they're going to immediately use Cat to kill my tank. That happens. And then the thing I was telling you guys, the thing that I see a lot of people making this mistake is they decide to trade tanks, and then their opponent still has Cat, and Cat can do some crazy and unpredictable things, and people will end up losing that mirror match. So instead, I waited to get I got the early ultimate so that I could target whoever, ignore taunt, and then I had Cat kill their Cat. So now it's my Kenobi and Cat versus their Kenobi and Kenobi, which is a very favorable matchup for me. So now we're just kind of biding our time, trying to ramp damage from Cat so that she can do some, you know, some damage here. And otherwise, I mean, we have 3.5 minutes. It takes a little bit of time sometimes, but, you know, it's okay. We're going to work on getting our ult. We got to keep her alive as much as we can. Hand the turn to him. We get his ult going. Just doing a lot of basics to get his ult, of course. And now we can ignore taunt, so we may as well get an armor shred on their Galactic Legend Kenobi. And then we'll just keep ramping damage. If Kenobi keeps targeting himself with his first special, he continues to ramp damage. And then Cat, of course, just WTF pwned his Kenobi, which feels good, of course. And now we can kind of just fast forward through this a little bit. I mean, the drama has been removed. The teeth have been pulled, and poor old General Kenobi is just left there hanging, just you know, with his unit hanging in the wind, guys, just flapping there. So trying to just play with my food a little bit, make sure I get the full banners. I mean, we dropped 3 from losing Kenobi, but okay, so we got through that front zone without too much hassle. He's got Tuskens, General Skywalker, he's got his Malicos team, Zori team, and a really strong Iden team. And so he's stuck on my Rey still. I mean, he's got 3 Galactic Legends. He's got the right tools to be able to beat this, but he's trying one more thing here. So if if Jango could get the kill there, then it would stop the revive. Didn't quite work out. So then he's like, okay, fine. I've used enough teams trying this nonsense. Like, that's a lot of characters that I've wasted. Let's just use Supreme Leader Kylo and finish him off. Now, you don't want to kill Rey with Hux or with First Order or with Kylo. So yeah, he did end up with Supreme Leader Kylo. He ended up getting the kill, and that prevents the revive, of course. And now he has Rey up top. This is his last Galactic Legend that's down. So we've killed 4. We need to kill his 5th, and he's got Rey with the Holdo Cron, the new one. And so I decided to use, this is the new comp that I've been talking a lot about, using Cere with Malicos and Starkiller. And so we get Holdo into damage immunity, and then, okay, so we can use the first special because we have 22 stacks, which means it resets his cooldowns, or his cooldowns for his rock throwing, and so he was able to get everyone into damage immunity. And okay, Rey's just ulting, whatever. Starkiller, or Ben is in fact available for death at that point, but then Starkiller missed him. What a tool. But we ended up getting the kill anyways. 54 banners. It's fine. And this is kind of fun. So because he used Darth Vader and Mace with Starkiller, he still has an EP Mara team with Thrawn, because he also didn't put Thrawn with his Lord Vader, which was something I appreciated actually. But Now he's able to go in, and I mean, his Mara is way faster than my Trench is. And I've said for a little bit, I don't know if this Trench squad, I don't know if this is the best version of it. I do like the Trench Cron, though. I'm questioning now if the Trench Cron is going to be better than a Doubt Cron in 3v3. Doubt is just so overpowered, especially in 3s where it's just so condensed. Like you get so many different targets with it. I mean, there's so few targets with it. Now I like this idea that he had, and remember guys, he's a very good player, better player than I am for sure. So what he did was my Watt immediately put the tank tech onto Jango, which means a stun isn't going to hold him, but what does hold him is a fracture from Thrawn. So fracturing him while you kill Trench and Watt was a really good idea, and now he fractured Jango again while he's just hanging out. And yeah, he got a 55. Jango stole a couple banners, but that was a very effective use of those kind of leftover characters. Now, here's the other part of the split that I was telling you guys about. So you remember, I used Malgus and Malak with Marauder to kill his Inquisition. Now, he has his Imperial Remnant here as well, and so I'm using the other part of my Sith Empire with Darth Revan and Basti, and then I have a Relic 7 indifferently modded Brood Alpha that I'm using to face his, pretty strong, pretty well modded Moff Gideon. Surprisingly, this is one of the few Relic 9s that I have that he doesn't have. He only has Relic 8 on his Moff Gideon, but I mean, that's not shade, that's just, it's surprising to me. I think it's just because he tends to really focus in on specific squads and trying to make them kind of overpowered. So, which, I mean, it's a strategy that works really well. I decided to try to get a stack off of his Dark Trooper. It didn't really work out, and I'm a little bit, I haven't run this particular comp before, so just kind of just trying to feel it out. Getting that ability block on Dark Trooper Moff Gideon is nice, of course, and the goal here, guys, also is, can we get one of their characters to 50%. That because once we get him to 50% health, you can see Deathmark is now on Dark Trooper Moff Gideon, and we're going to be doing a lot more damage. And you can see Moff Gideon almost got out of Deathmark, and then he hit Brute, and the Brute hit him back into 50% health, and made him, gave him Deathmark again. So now it's just a matter of how many banners can we get back from this, because I mean, I can't believe, honestly, this is such a cheap counter, guys. So ridiculous that this works, but I mean, Deathmark is a hell of a drug, folks. It's really strong. So, you know, even with 50% offense here, because Moff Gideon is suppressing our offense, it's still pretty good. So 56, I was able to play with my food just a little bit to get that lightning spell and heal up a little bit. Now, on the other side, Fatal is attacking my final couple characters with, you know, he's got to clean up my top zone, or my bottom zone, sorry, before he can get to the back zone. And so he uses Wampa, which kind of surprised me that Wampa was able to take out Turret and Base so easily, but I mean, obviously it worked. So yeah, I'm not going to show you guys my defenses. You guys can rewind to see what they are, but they're pretty strong. And so what I decided to do here, folks, and we're not showing the whole thing because this whole fight takes forever. I decided to take Supreme Leader Kylo here against his bow because he doesn't have a taunt, like he doesn't have Paz. You guys saw him being used earlier, in fact. So what he's doing, or what I'm doing here, is trying to just keep Bo-Katan kind of contained. And I'll say this openly, I think I misplayed this in several different ways. Like, I was able to keep Bo-Katan contained the entire fight, but because she has her Beskar armor, eventually she'll get it at least. Like, I wasn't able to ramp enough damage to actually, you know, like, I can't crit her at a certain point. Yeah, okay, so she got her 3 stacks there from armor, and so I think I just took too long, kind of, to take her out. Or to take out, I kill armor eventually, but then I didn't focus down IG-12, which I think was one of my bigger mistakes. I thought that I would just be able to ramp enough damage to kill Bo-Katan and keep her kind of in place, but you know, and steal enough mastery that she's not doing any damage, etc. But one way or another, I mean, you can see like it seems like I have it under control. I've been getting my ult quite a bit, and Bo-Katan's really not doing that much damage to me at this point. But yeah, okay, I think we're speeding it up to like 300%. I think that's what I ended up doing, and just because, yeah, I did want to show the whole thing if I could. See, I probably should have tried focusing down IG-12. And IG-12 keeps healing her, and she is just really, she's just resilient anyways. Like, at this point, I should have killed IG-12. And then at least it would have just been a lone Bo-Katan, but instead, I'm like, okay, we still have a minute. I mean, I was stuck with the 2 of them for a really long time, and you can see, man, I even did hit IG-12 one time. He keeps healing her, keeps doing all sorts of awesome things for her, which is just brutal. And I hate it, but we just timed out, man. I hate it. Very embarrassing. Okay, so this team has been getting a lot of holds for this is a team that I suggested in my video of like best defensive teams to place. This Kelleran back with General Skywalker and Snips. And so I mean, they're not super fast, so if you use Imperial Troopers here, you gotta be careful. Fatal was being really cautious here. He doesn't want Veers, he doesn't want anyone to do their AoEs, because Beck can hit back, like it can counter really well. And so you can kill the ads pretty well, but what ends up happening is then Beck can hit back, and it's an ugly thing. So it almost looks like they have him on the ropes, and I think maybe, was that his second wind? I think maybe he actually would have died if he didn't have that second wind, but instead, he's just gonna counter him to death, which is really just such a really interesting interaction, in my opinion. At first I was like, man, this sucks. I thought the Beck was going to just lose at that point. And then, like, at first I thought the troopers didn't have a chance, and then I was like, oh no, the troopers are gonna win for sure. And then ended up Kelleran Beck just soloed all of them once he could start countering. So it was a good idea on his part, on Fatal's part, to just hit the sides and not do AoEs unless they had foresight. It's a good idea. So now we're using Traya with SWGOH. I had originally planned on using Traya with SWGOH to kill his own Traya team, but because I messed up so bad with Supreme Leader Kylo, I have to clear this team somehow. And if you watched my live stream earlier in the year, like just a couple days ago, my first stream of the season, I did manage, I barely managed to clear Bo after I spent a bunch of really good teams. Like I just have had very little experience in fighting her. Honestly, she can just take out so many teams, guys. It's brutal. So luckily though, Traya managed to take her out, and now we're facing. He's facing my Jabba. This is the team that you would use to solo Jabba. If you know, it's not 100% counter, but it is this is the way you would counter him. Now you need a lot of tenacity on Marin. You can see everyone else is taking a lot of thermals. Marin was not, and then eventually they just focused her down, and like everyone else blew up. So I mean, not 100% counter, but I mean that was it's a very credible way to do things. Now he used his own Kelleran back. One of the things he said to me at the start was he didn't have a lot of the new Crons, but I think he had about as many Crons as I do, as I did, because he has a Jedi no revive, which I don't even have one of those yet. So this is a really clever way to take out Tuskens, because Jedi don't allow revives, and Tuskens, well, congratulations Tuskens, you killed Ayla at least. That was fancy of you. But yeah, I mean this is, it goes pretty well. If you don't care about efficiency, if you're not caring about how many banners you get, this is a really great way to take out Tuskens. Oh, look at that, I'm eating a popsicle. That's fun. Okay, so he got a 53. Not the best banners, but he did clear it in one shot. And then, so he's using SWGOH lead with Traya and Talon, which is really interesting because, you know, there's no instant death threat here with Nihilus. And, but then you could just kill Traya right away. And so we already used Cal to kill his Lord Vader squad. So we're now just using like kind of our leftover good Jedi. So Jedi Revan lead, and SWGOH doesn't love Jedi Revan just because you can stop him from gaining any buffs, and then Mace is going to slowly chip away from his max health and his defense, and Luke actually with his stun can reduce his max health and max protection. So we have, you know, Shatterpoint will eventually work its magic, even if it seems fairly hopeless to kill him initially. You know, he's Relic 8, he's got his Omicron obviously, and modded extremely well, and so it kind of seems hopeless, but we're slowly getting out of all of the doubt that was caused earlier. And so yeah, we're not going to have doubt anymore. We can actually gain turn meter, we can regenerate our protection, and this is one thing that I think Fatal wasn't really expecting to happen. you know, that and the split for Sith Empire, I don't think either of those were things that he, like, based on the comments that he made, it seemed a little bit like it was a surprise to him, which I'm glad I was able to surprise a guy who, you know, he's such a strong theory crafter. It's nice to be able to get the jump on him every once in a while, but okay, this is him taking down my Zori team. This isn't, I don't have the current data Cron, I just have a protection up Cron, and he's trying to go a little bit cheap with, you know, a Jedi Revan and Jolee, and then Grandmaster Yoda, which it can work if the team you're facing isn't, you know, High Relic, isn't, you know, I have an okay Cron here. You know, this team has a decent shot. I mean, if you have Jedi Luke, it's a lot better because you can get that stun, the AoE stun, and that gives you a lot of wiggle room. But I mean, he's still he's got a decent chance of taking out my team, anyways. Just trying to take out Resistance Hero Finn, of course, because he's kind of he's the guy who makes them take a lot of turns, anyways. And so if you can take him out, and he's the easiest to kill as well. If you can take him out, then awesome. But in this case, my guys managed to kill Revan for the second time after Savior, and then Jolee in back-to-back parts, and so Fatal had to back out, which, yay for Zori. He decided to use his Afra team to take him out, and as long as you can land doubt on all of them, I mean, even if you can't land doubt on all of them, against my specific build here, that, like, there's no real issue, because, like, the protection up doesn't do that much, and Afra is able to just take you out. Now, you'll see in a little bit, yeah, so, well, you'll see something else. Sorry for being vague, but, okay, I was originally going to have Bam lead here, because it's clocked so that Dash could then go first, or could go second right after Bam. But after a little bit, you saw the text, I said, let's call it audible. I decided that I needed to have Dash lead so that we had prepared on Vander Chewie immediately, which I think paid off quite a bit. So, like, people are dying, and Vander's able to just keep reviving, which is great. Go into poop stance. We do have the Bam Cron, so we're at 18 stacks here. 18 Whistling Birds was able to kill all of them. And I did clear that top zone without too much drama, but the back zone, of course, is still really strong. And his fleets, I always forget, Fatal puts just really bad ships in the back that he doesn't need. He doesn't want to have to deal with fleets, so he just puts bad fleets down so that he can cheese his own fleets and call it good. Now, this was a really interesting thing, guys. His Night Sisters didn't work, so he decided he was going to try CLS it works in 5s. In 3s, I've never seen this before, but it's really interesting. You know, he's got a lot of tenacity on his guys. And so he's going to take a lot of turns. Even though we have the Doubt Cron here, like, his team is just going to take a lot of turns if he can manage to kill Boosh. And honestly, I was surprised with how many turns he was able to take. It was just because you know, my guys are resisting stuff. He's able to, I mean, it's a very turn meter heavy team, and he did manage without much trouble at all to kill Boosh, which was very impressive to me. And so now the struggle is going to come, of course, when he hits Kersantin's protection, gets through his protection, and is able, you know, he's able to get doubt, or I'm able to get doubt on his characters. And you can see they've been kind of focusing C-3PO. Jabba, every time C-3PO tries to go into stealth, Jabba just brings him out of stealth, of course, because that's what Jabba does. He's kind of a dick. And we're, you know, they're about to kill Kersantin, at least for the first time. And, but doubt, like, they're not gaining turn meter anymore. They're still taking a lot of turns. And eventually, I did kill C-3PO, and he decided to run out the clock. So killed the most important character on Jabba, except for Jabba's team, except for Jabba himself. Okay, and then he decided to try using his Sidious. See, he had the Sidious Cron as well, and he's just trying to... was under the impression that Bo-Katan was going to with her first move. I thought that she did a basic on top of all of it, but I guess what happens is she typically does do that, except in this case, she can't assist herself because that's part of Sidious's Cron. So she just did her special, and so she didn't auto kill Sidious, and then all she had to do was a basic at the very start. She's kind of dumb. She's not that intelligent. And so right now, if he can do an AoE and stick 2 dots onto Bo, then she'll just die at the start. Same with IG-12. And then all he has to do is deal with Paz, which is, really nice to be able to have available. This Sid Cron is fairly crazy, actually. So let's see what like he's trying to figure out what to do. And so Bo has 5 stacks, so does IG-12. IG-12 went first though, and then died and revived from Bo's savior mechanic, or revive mechanic, and that meant that he was able to take an immediate turn and cleanse Bo and keep her alive. So it didn't quite fall out the way Fatal was hoping for here, but I mean, the next thing Bo can do is her basic, and that's what she's gonna do. So he's trying to figure out if it's worth taking another turn, and yeah, didn't work. So okay, I'm gonna use Aphra on my own, and so I didn't get doubt. So first off, I have to do damage to everyone's health before I can kill anyone. And so Zori, she didn't get doubt stuck to her. And, I needed that. I needed her to have that, because now she's in stealth, and I can't do anything to her. I can't do anything to any of them. I can't kill anyone right now until Zori loses her protection. And so they just kill Aphra. And I checked her tenacity. She does not have anywhere close to enough to deny my Aphra's potency, other than just blind luck, like 15% chance to resist any debuff, and she got that, and it ended up just winning that fight, which is pretty brutal because I'm starting to run out of teams in a big way. Like, I really needed that to work, and like it worked really nicely for him, but my Zori didn't get the 15% chance to resist. So I mean, he also got unlucky that Jabba super targeted his Marin, so there's RNG. There's just RNG involved. Now I'm using my own Sidious. Just get those five stacks of dots, and then of course every time you try to apply a dot to Fulcrum Ahsoka, she just resists it. She dispels it immediately, and so he's left to try to ramp, and she just keeps dodging, man. I don't know why she dodges so much, but eventually I managed to take her out. Pretty gross. Did get through it. So now he's using this. I think this is his final Galactic Legend. He has Sith Eternal Emperor with just a couple random tanks. Like, one of them isn't even. I mean, they're both dark side, but neither of them are. One of them is Sith, and Cyan isn't really the best suited to Sith Eternal. Just because he tries to revive and he can't, because Sith Eternal's like, no, you can't do that, Dick. Not allowed to. I'm sorry. You're not. That's not something I'm okay with you doing. Only I revive, apparently. So Bo-Katan is just so hopeless at one-shotting characters right out the gate, apparently. It's frankly embarrassing, man. Like, she's supposed to get her first turn and one-shot someone, and she just can't get it right. She doesn't know how to do it. It's a very sad moment in time for her, because she doesn't even. Whereas I struggled mightily with my Sith Eternal attempt, my first try, Fatal was able to just destroy her, which he knew what he was doing though. So, hats off to him. Now I think we're fast forwarding this a little bit. The idea, my initial fight this season, I used Adrad to kill Tuskens with the Omicron, you know, on Tusken Raider, and it worked out so nicely. It was against Relic 7 Tuskens, and so I decided we would try this again. We would try the same thing, just against Relic 8 Tuskens, and things don't go as well as I was hoping for. I'll just say that. The idea is that Jyn can ramp her damage quite a bit here over time because she has her Datacron, her AoE starts doing a crazy amount of damage, and hopefully she'll just be able to one-shot people. And so I'm waiting on the Adrad's ultimate thing until all that protection up goes away. That's the hope, at least, is that we can get rid of all that protection up, except it's not really happening. Like, they just keep recasting it, and it's fairly brutal, and we have our people dying. And so I eventually just decide to pull the trigger, hoping that we'll at least kill Warrior. And you'll see here that yeah, so I'm being pretty patient here. Yeah, most of their protection up is gone, and then he gives them another stack. Oh my gosh, so frustrating. So can we cast our ult? Well, we have 1 minute and 40 seconds to go. Oh, we did cast our ult. It didn't do anything. See, I didn't even notice when I was doing the recap. I was like, oh yeah, same as always, because they wouldn't die, man. They just didn't, and he has them really well modded, very, very thick. Gosh, we were at the point where if I had an AoE, I could have killed Warrior like 3 different times from those exposes, and it just never panned out. I wouldn't say that I got super unlucky here. It was just a very frustrating situation, and you know, maybe a slight bit of bad RNG, but overall, I mean, I think it was just his modding and his ability to control. So I lost that one, unfortunately, and I didn't even, if I'd been able to kill even like one of them, it would have been so much easier to be able to beat that team. And then I threw Wampa in, and that he's modded. He's gotten his Shore Trooper up to Relic 9, his Stormtrooper to Relic 8. They are maxed out on protection and defense crons, and whereas my Wampa wasn't dying, I could not even touch his Stormtrooper or his Shore Trooper. Like, it wasn't even close. I just quit 1 minute in, or 4 minutes in, because there was just no point. I was scratching the paint. It was brutal, man. It was very impressive, in fact. So this is, he's using Stap here, guys, with his Omicron. I don't have Stap. I mean, I have him at 3 stars, just like you guys, but he's using Stap here to take out Inquisition with General Grievous. Now, I mean, he didn't quite take out all of Inquisition, but I mean, he killed the important parts. Like, you can finish off a lone Reva, maybe not easily. Like, she'll solo a lot of teams, but that's brutal, man. Like, I thought he was out of team. I didn't think he was gonna be able to clear Inquisition that easily. So I decided to use my Iden to try to kill his resistance. Now, this is another team that he's modded really well, and I finally got their protection down enough to the point where I could actually theoretically kill someone, but I didn't really even come that close to it. My final good team I had remaining, guys, was I still had Say the Eternal Emperor, and he has General Skywalker. The only team on his defense that I hadn't failed against yet was General Skywalker, so I decided I don't think I'm gonna clear. I'm pretty sure he's not gonna clear me, so now it's just a banners gamble, a bid for banners. And so what I'm doing here is just soloing with Sith Eternal. In 3s you can do that. In 5s it can get a little sketchy, but in 3s you can pretty consistently do that. Even if General Skywalker, he did stand up one time, wasn't that big of a deal. So we're just trying to get max banners here. Now remember, once you leech all the protection off of Skywalker, he just stays there forever because he can't regenerate protection at all. So he just sits there while Sith Eternal slowly kills his men, and it's quite cowardly of that guy. But I mean, what you gonna do? That's just how he is. That's the kind of person he is, apparently. So, and you guys saw him in episode 4 when he just let his stormtroopers all die. before I even walked in. It's kind of like that, but yeah, he did manage to steal enough protection that I didn't get that banner. And that's where we decided to kind of just leave it, folks, because we'd been going for like 4 or 5 hours, and we were just tired. So let me show you the end results here, because I'm not going to show you the fleets, because his fleets were garbage by intention, so it's not even an insult. So let me show you the final results here, guys. Because he was struggling to clear some of my stuff, but he still had a lot in the tank. He's struggled against my Qui-Gon team a little bit. I'm trying to find the right sound. Oh, there we go. I think. Whoa, madness! We're in the game. Here we are, folks. So, I did end up pulling it off. I won, even though I cleared fewer squads. He couldn't quite. He managed to use Jedi training Rey to kill my CLS team. I don't remember what he used to clear out my Iden team, but yeah, he managed that. And then he just couldn't get through. He didn't have any mods on Bane for some reason, so when he went to fight Leia, I guess he had 2 mods on Bane, and that wasn't quite enough, and Leia was able to kill him there. I don't know what else he tried to use on Leia. And then Jabba, he tried his two off-meta things that couldn't quite work. So, I mean, that's it, guys. That's it. Otherwise, he managed to kill all my other teams. And, even though he had to kind of zerg some of them down, it was, and then fleets, I think he just one-shot everything. Doesn't really matter. But yeah, so like the Krex team took a couple hits. The Zori team took a couple. He took 4 to get through the Qui-Gon squad. He one-shot the Tuskens, as you guys saw, and then it took him 3 to get through that Kelleran Beck squad. I don't know what he used in the interim, like the middle one. So, really good match by Fatal. And I honestly, if he had a Bane that was working, that had all of his mods, he would have killed Leia, almost certainly. And then if he had managed it with Night Sisters to kill Jabba, which, like I said, it's not 100% counter, but if he had, then he'd have cleared me and beat me. As it was, he still cleared more squads than me. And I mean, I'm not embarrassed to say that I think I got a little lucky beating him. He's a good player, and I think he probably beats me 6 or 7 times out of 10. Which, I mean, it's fine. If I can win this, that's great. I'm glad to be able to hang with one of the better players in the game. And, it was a pleasure fighting a slugfest match with another similarly minded defense-first player. It's a lot of fun, guys. So, yeah, huge shout out to Fatal. Guys, go find his links in the video description. Go check him out. And I'm going to leave it there. If you want to watch me on Twitch, it's free. It's you can find a link to my stuff, my YouTube channel. No, I don't even think it's linked because you're on my YouTube right now. But my Twitch channel is linked. You guys can go watch me live. It's a lot of fun playing around in the top 100. Just getting destroyed by incredible players like this. It's been a lot of fun. Guys, thank you all so much for watching. And remember that in all things, Xaereth prevails.